Well, hello, this is Tony Lucero, and welcome to the very first show of the Terahertz show. And I am so excited to actually start this whole show with bringing to the world some amazing technology, some amazing stories, and encourage you to become the best version of yourself. And I want to give you a little background about myself. I've kind of been in this frequency game, this wellness game for about the last 35 years. And I can say at almost 57 years old, I'll be 57 this year. I am in the best health that I've ever been in. And I believe it's because of the things that I've known, the things I discovered along the way, along my wellness journey, because I believe we're always on some type of wellness or a health journey. And the purpose of what we're going to do tonight is I've got a very special guest, but we're going to introduce an amazing technology, an amazing science, an amazing device that can actually help you do some amazing things. So before we get started, though, I want to make sure that we have a disclaimer. And that disclaimer is a medical disclaimer, which really just lets you know that, hey, we're going to offer up something and we're not going to make any claims. And so I just want to make sure that we are crystal clear on that before we get started. And I'm so excited to bring my guest on, Sheila Harrison. Sheila and I have been friends for just a little while now, but it's like we've become besties almost because we've been so busy. And Sheila, it is such a pleasure to have you as my very first guest on the Terahertz show. And I can't think of any other person I would want to be talking about this amazing technology than you, because you've been teaching me and educating me along with the tons of research I've been doing. So can you just give us a little bit of background on who you are and how did you get started in this frequency thing? Because you and I have a background in frequency.
Thank you, Tony. It's such an honor to be here, and definitely a divine alignment the way that we've met and are drawn to work together here in this frequency space. But actually, I have a background in brick and mortar, and I owned a Subway franchise, and I owned a music store. Have a background like you, and love music, so understand the whole frequency thing with music. And
Mm.
I stumbled into the industry of wellness in 2010 as a single mother, 16 years divorced, and I started learning about bad frequencies, so to speak, and EMFs, and I started teaching the world about negative and bad frequencies, not really understanding that we're all made of energy and frequencies, and that there was such a thing out there as good frequencies. So I spent a great deal of time helping mom and pop businesses, amusement parks, hotels, homes across the US have green energy and know that they couldn't see, feel, touch, or taste the bad frequencies, but they were out there. And so, fast forward 3 years ago, someone introduced me to good frequencies, and I was already a self described health advocate that just with a healer's heart for many, many years through my own health journey of being misdiagnosed and the good Lord helping me find ways to be proactive with my own health. I was always searching for a way, Tony, like yourself, to help others. And so when I was introduced to frequencies, I I took a step back and I thought, what is this? And actually called a good friend of mine who is retired military doctor. She's like a homeopathic doctor. And I said, Dr. Bosley, I said, what is frequencies? And when it pertains to health and wellness, and she said, it's like prayer. That resonated with me. And so I started mentoring Tony under some what I call energy experts, the late Dr. John Hernandez, Dr. John Brimhall, Dr. Steve Small. And I just was a sponge. And everything I could learn, I knew that I was supposed to pass on. And so about a year ago, this frequency that you and I have fallen in love with crossed my path. And it made such a difference in my life that I have been just sharing it with the world.
I love it. It's crazy when I think of frequency. Like you said, bad frequencies. When I grew up, I was in a really awkward frequency. I had a stepfather that wasn't the nicest to me, and it was crazy because at a very young age, I think probably around 5 or 6 years old, like I discovered this idea of music, and music is a frequency. Everything's a frequency, like you said. And I discovered this idea of music, and when he would have a bad day and he took it out on his kids or his stepkids, it seems like that music was the only thing that actually would kind of heal me, from whatever was going on. And I got really excited about knowing, yeah, okay, there are bad frequencies, there are good frequencies. And I learned playing music at a very young age. And it's true. when you learn there are frequencies, like nature is a frequency, music is a frequency, our energies are frequencies. I always tell this story that's really weird because people don't understand that everything is frequency. Like you could be walking along the beach, minding your own business, and all of a sudden there's, a thousand millions of rocks in front of you, right? And all of a sudden, one rock it's an inanimate object, one rock calls out to you, right? Like, why is it this one? And then you go, oh my gosh, and you pick up the rock. Again, it's just a rock, but there's frequency in this rock. You picked it for whatever reason, and you go, oh my gosh, I'm going to give that to my friend. And you put it in your pocket, and a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, you go, oh my gosh, hey Sheila, I was at the beach the other day or a couple weeks ago. I found this rock and I'm giving it to you. And all of a sudden you start crying. Or you give it to your mother or something like that. And you're like, everything has a frequency. And we don't even think about that, that everything that we're around, everything that, we're exposed to has a frequency. There's frequency waves. There's these, this Wi-Fi thing that's happening all the time, the 5G, the 4G. And so I love the fact that you discovered, hey, there are these bad frequencies, and now you've shifted, and now you're looking to do some really goodness with some good frequencies. And so let's talk about the good frequencies. So there's this frequency that I had never heard of. I've heard of all different hertzes, 528, 441, all these different types of hertzes. And I've heard of all these different frequencies. And Einstein said that the future of medicine is frequency. And people go like, what does that mean? And here we are today, it's 2023, and we have this terahertz frequency, which is a good frequency, a safe frequency that actually does some amazing things. So can you talk about this terahertz frequency, what you know about it, and why it's so good for us? And then I'll show people what this wand is. We'll talk about the wand.
Mhm. Well, Tony, absolutely. And I definitely resonate again with the frequency thing when it comes to music. I have a piano here in my background, I have a guitar, multiple guitars, and just a little glimpse of how frequencies can clear our body from blockages and meridians. I literally have written music for years, and I was like you, it was like brought me out of the trauma drama whenever I could get near music or write a song and would and do that in hoping to help someone else, but the whole time it was equalizing me, right? And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when I started learning that we could actually receive frequencies that were already that could be sent to our body and how our body could resonate with them, it was so powerful to me. And when I stopped playing my music, my health began to tumble. And it wasn't until I started understanding frequencies that I knew what was going on, that the music all along, that frequency, what I needed to balance, like yourself, my emotional traumas in my life. And so when I heard about the terahertz frequency, the device was gifted to me because my good friend knew that I loved and practiced frequencies, that I've watched it bring people out of ICU and actually off of life support. And again, we don't make claims on this call, but I watched the power of frequencies at work along with positive intentions. So I thought, what could this terahertz device do, right? And it blows heat and terahertz. Well, Tony, I started asking more questions, right? So you start calling your doctor friends, you start Googling, you start looking up everything you can. And I stumbled onto things, Tony, like terahertz means another terminology for it is God's wave band. It's also
Mm.
known as the light of life. It's known as the frequency of life. And I'm like, wow, why haven't I heard of this before? And when I started looking deeper, I learned that terahertz is the very same vibration as our human cells. So it
Mm.
started to make sense to me when I started to use the device. Why are we seeing such instant impact when the body gets frequencies? It shifts, right? But why are we seeing such an instant shift for 90% of the people? And I believe that it's just that reason that it resonates with the human cell along with the heat, and the body's responding as it shifts us back into homeostasis and into harmony. Then our body starts to do its own magic.
I love it. And so I'm going to show people this amazing wand right here. So this is here it is. It looks like a blow dryer. It blows heat, like you said. There is a benefit of the heat. The heat actually it's soothing for me. I live in Nebraska, and heat is my friend, cold is not. And so I know when my body gets damp. I know when I don't feel the best, and the heat seems to help. Whether it be a sauna, whether it be a hot tub, a hot shower, that case, that whatever that is. But the fact that this does the heat, and the terahertz, and there's some other technologies too with crystal, it does amazing things. And like you said, it actually works very well with your cells, and those cells start to do what they need to do to get your body in a state, right? So again, not making medical claims, but when you use this, it gives your body the opportunity to do what it needs to do, right? So what type of testimonial, what have you noticed since you've been using it for the last year or so?
So when I first got the device, I already knew, of course, about frequencies, but this terahertz I did not know about. But so it was an experiment for me, of course. So I just started on my meridians, and I had learned about, I never heard of meridians before. And maybe people watching your show, Tony, don't understand what meridians are. They're just highways through our body from organ to organ. They're like a train track, so to speak. They're anything
Ah,
from a anything from an injury at playing football to a surgery to emotional traumas can cause a blockage or a boulder in the road, so to speak, right? And
mm,
so, and then the energy can't flow along those highways very well. And so I decided to start with my meridian. So if I could go upstream and find out maybe what was causing some of my problems, that would be a great way to go to the root cause. Because sometimes the muddy water downstream might be from something upstream, right? So I
yeah.
thought good place to start was with the meridian. So I was just like, it was so funny. I was like this kid in a candy store, like, oh my gosh, I've got this amazing device. And where do I start? So it's like the bottom of my feet, and then the palms of my hands, and under your arms, the sides of your neck, and the backs of your knees. Those are meridian points, and about 1 minute each. And then I went to the area of concern, which was migraine headaches. And again, we don't make claims to treat, diagnose, or cure, but when you give the body what it's missing, the body starts to perform its own miracles. And so I did the sides of my neck and down the back of my neck, and, and pretty much the migraine headaches just dissipated. I would get a sinus headache between my eyes and my temples and up my sinuses for about a minute. Sinus pressure gone. That was the first thing I noticed. I was due an eye doctor appointment, Tony, about 6 weeks after I got the one, and I thought, well, this will be a true test. So I did my eye about 45 seconds to a minute each, about maybe 4 or 5 days a week for about 6 weeks. And I was due to get cataract surgery. So when I went to the eye doctor, I kept waiting for the doctor to bring it up this year, because last year I didn't get my prescription refilled for new glasses because they wanted me to wait and get the cataract surgery. And literally, there was no mention of the cataracts. And so I
Wow.
asked the doctor, I said, what about the cataracts, Dr. Porter? And he said, oh, they're not even mentionable. And so I didn't go into that long discussion with him because I know he sees thousands of patients every year, but I was just like, okay, I'm just hand over my heart. I'm just grateful, right? No, I don't have to get this surgery. My eyes had not changed. I'm still wearing my glasses for I am farsighted. Hopefully I can not claim that anymore after keeping on using the frequencies. But that was two of my stories. Lower, I love heat like you. I don't know when to put the device down at the end of the day. Attention goes to my lower back, so I turn it on the high heat and put it on my lower lumbar part of my back, and it instantly relieves achy back and achy feet. And so my own personal testimony, those were just some of them, and I pull it from my wellness toolbox. You hope you don't need it, but you're so glad you have it. Like when I broke my toe, where I tried to rescue my little dog when he jumped out of, or she jumped out of the car, and I landed on my kneecap. The first thing I reach for is this frequency device, the terahertz device.
Yeah, it's like an appliance, right? So it's like a first aid appliance that every home needs to have, because you never know what's going to happen. You don't want to wait till you're sick and all that. Like, this is a very proactive device. And people always say, people have asked, like, well, how do you use it? Well, you hold it, you plug it in, and you blow it like a blow dryer. like you said, on these different meridians, and it's crazy. I have some meridians that I enjoy more than others. Like I love doing my head. Like I just love the heat on my head and the top of my head and my neck and all that. So I love it, love it, love it. Okay, awesome. So I'm working on my eyes as well because you mentioned that to me, and I have to wear glasses depending on what I'm doing. So my goal is to reverse time somehow and get my back to when I was like 7 or 8 years old. So that's my process. Okay, so let's talk about something else that's really exciting as far as the water that we're drinking. The water, when we drink water that has been wanded, or we use our terahertz technology on, something beautiful happens to water. And I have to tell you, I have never drank so much warm water in my life, or room temperature water in my life, and I crave it. Like I crave it. I got a big jug. Oh, we can't say it. I got a big jug right here that I just. Why is that? Why am I craving this beautiful water that has been treated with the terahertz frequency in this wand?
Well, Tony, we hear so much about good water, right? We have to have good water. We can only go about 3 days without water, right? But
Yeah.
there's all sorts of water out there, but I've never heard of energized water. So you hear all these energy drinks on the market, but no energy water, right? Well, now with the terahertz device, we literally have energy water. And so I can understand why that you appreciate the water because with normal water, you can't see, just like those frequencies, you can't see those clumpy molecules in the water. But when the molecules in the water are clumped, when you drink the water, it doesn't necessarily penetrate the cell. It's just like irrigating the cells or sprinkling some water on them. But when you blow the water for just like 1 minute, it literally changes the structure of the water. So now it's structured water. It's linear instead of clumpy, and it literally changes the blood from being clumpy. It's just amazing. But good water is good for everything in our body, from making our organs function. We have to have it to good skin. So we're seeing such amazing things, from people sleeping better to having more energy. I started dreaming after I started drinking the terahertz water. So and then a lot of beauty testimonies, like hair growing, fine lines and wrinkles. And from using both the one, some people spritz the water on their face, Tony, when they put it in a little spray bottle and spritz their skin with it. And so the water is absolutely amazing because it's something our bodies already have to have, and we can't live without. It's how God made us. But now we can go straight to the cellular level with absorption of energized water.
I love it. I've heard of people actually energizing their baths, like taking a bath, drawing a bath, and using this amazing device in the water in their bathtub. Like that's awesome. Like why would you not? Like why would you not use this at every opportunity you have to create that environment for something wonderful to happen?
Yes, and I have to admit I haven't done that yet, but on the testimonial calls that I host each week, I keep hearing, so it's do you have a blue hair stand? And I love to it's good to soak in the tub and for detox purposes, and what a better way to treat your skin than to do energized structured water. I'm excited to try that, Tony.
Yeah, I love it. The whole idea is your cells love this, right? So that your cells love the heat, it loves the terahertz, and those cells, they become energized. And when you have an energized cell, all of a sudden you have basically new life. Let's just call it new life. It's like replacing batteries in a device when it's not going very well, and you put a new battery in, all of a sudden that device now has new life. Well, let's say we're a device. We're having new life the more that we use this, right? And again, not making any claims, but man, in new life, good stuff happens. And then there's this big thing that happens that I really notice is it has the ability to, when you have new life, it gets rid of the old life. So these old cells, they just are released through your body like a detox or a cleanse. And this is the biggest thing that I've noticed, because I consider myself like in, you know, pretty good shape. Like I'm very well aware of, how Tony feels. But what I've noticed is that cleansing that's happening right now, what's being released through my body is amazing. Like, what is going on with me? it's good to have this cleansing going on as the new cells are happening. Can you explain that really quick on why the body is detoxing and how the body gets rid of these things that don't belong in your body?
So when the terahertz starts to go to work in the body, as much as the body will allow, then it liquefies the bad cells, Tony. And so when you liquefy those and then you activate the good cells, then you want to detox your body, right? I mean, you want to get that out of your body. So that's where the water comes in. So whether you're drinking terahertz water or just good water, you need a lot of water, but why not drink this the structured energized water, right?
Yeah.
And so then that helps to flush out as you're detoxing. And so especially in the beginning, it's really important to drink extra water when you're getting your body used to the terahertz frequencies, and you're setting yourself up to actually be a great conductor for the frequencies, because mineral water, water and the minerals is a great conductor for absorbing the terahertz frequency. So if we drink water right before, especially with maybe a little sprinkle of sea salt, or we take good minerals, then our body is a great conductor for the frequency. So to maybe expedite the efficacy of what we're doing, we can set our body up for success by drinking a lot of good water, and especially the terahertz water.
Oh, I love it. Like I'm crazed about it. Okay, so I want to ask you a kind of a personal question. Is there somebody, while you're doing this, because I know this is who you are, this idea of serving others. Like, I mean, you just do that. So is there a testimonial that stands out from somebody that you shared this with that kind of goes, okay, that's it. I'm going to tell the world about this. Is there somebody that you have that maybe you can share with us? You don't have to give the person's name, but if there was, somebody that
Mm,
you know.
absolutely. So back to when I started learning about frequencies, Tony, the late Dr. John Hernandez, he would do seminars and he would invite me and myself and people that I knew, a group that I knew, onto his calls because he loved to teach lay people. So when he actually passed away, I could feel his presence saying, carry on this legacy. But this gentleman was one of the kindest human beings I've ever met. And he helped me keep my father off of dialysis. My grandfather died from kidney disease. And my dad, they were wanting him to start talking about the dialysis and to take the classes, and they told him he was close to having to get dialysis. Well, we kept my dad off of dialysis with frequencies, and when I first got this device, and Dr. Hernandez helped me with that journey, and so I knew frequencies were important. For one, to clear any grief from my father losing my mom and to keep his meridians clear, and number two, to help his body be detoxed, because the kidneys really are like your kidneys. And of course, your skin, those are things that are real important for our body. Our skin is like our second kidney. So I knew this was real important. But my father fell about 3 weeks after I was gifted the wand and the frequency wand. And about 5 days of pain, he told my sister, I have to go to the doctor, but before, please take me to see Sheila. And so he would come about once a month, Tony, for me to do frequencies for him. It was very foreign to my father. He was 76 years old and is very foreign to him, but he trusted me and his results. So one Sunday afternoon, my sister brought him over. He lived about 45 minutes away. And I said, Dad, can I try this new frequency device? It's just a blower. It looks like a blow dryer and it's going to just blow terahertz frequency. And he said, sure. I didn't even give him the water, Tony. I just was like experimenting with my father because he thought he'd hurt the kidney because his ribs were hurting all down deep into his right ribs where his kidney was. And he was concerned that he had hurt his kidney. So I said, okay, I'm just going to do this for about 10 minutes only to the area of concern, counterclockwise, 10 minutes. He said, well, that's a little warm. And is it too hot? No, it's okay. So I kept blowing, but I didn't want to overdo it. Go low, go slow, right? So
Yeah.
he walked out of here with his cane, stumbled out with his cane. I didn't ask any questions. About 5 days later on a Thursday, I called to check on him. And he said, well, Sheila, I've been meaning to call you and I've been meaning to tell you, I don't know what that device was that you used, but he said, when I left your house, the pain was gone and it never came back. 2 months later, Tony, my dad called me and said, "Can I get my own frequency device?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, Dad, you don't need your own. My sister lives 10 minutes from you. She has one. I have one. We'll just blow the frequencies for you." He said, "You don't understand. I want my own device." And I said, "Okay, you're not going to pay for it." He insisted. I said, "No, I just want to pay it forward." And but I said, "I really want to know why you want the device, Dad. Why is it you have to have your own?" He said, "Well, I can't hear very well." And he's always saying, "Huh, huh, huh." You know, we have to repeat ourselves, especially on the phone. And he said, "When I lay on my right ear, I can't hear the TV." So he'd lay in his bed and watch television. And he said, um, "Now I can hear the TV when I'm laying on my right ear. That's why I want my own lawn." So that was my dad's story, and that's really my dad and Dr. John Hernandez. You know, I feel like that this is a mission to me, is as a person having a healer's heart and being able to bring something to the world that can help them have a better quality of life. As I say, maybe add years to their life and certainly add life to their years, like I did with my dad. I feel like that I'm carrying on Dr. John Hernandez's mission to help lay people understand good frequencies, and I can watch people like my father have better quality added to their life. And so I'm just sharing it with the world. And I hopefully, with your help, Tony, we will help a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that story. That is such a beautiful story, and what an amazing daughter you are. you know,
Mm.
and it's great to be doing this with you. I feel your heart. I know the people that are watching this can feel that as well. And so I want to thank you for your time tonight, Sheila. I know we're going to do many of these together. We're going to bring a bunch of people from people that you've helped along the way, and people that I've helped along the way, and the people that this company's helped along the way. We're going to bring them on. We're going to have them share their stories because we want to empower you. We want to empower everybody to say, you know what? I deserve this. Like, I deserve to have one of these units. And the really cool thing that I love about this is I'm spending 10 minutes with myself or 15 minutes or whatever it is, whenever I feel like stopping. And I'm really just paying attention to me. It's like there's nothing else that matters. I drink the water, I go in and I work on these meridians, and I just to spend time with me and to get reconnected with me is such a beautiful thing because the better I am, the better I am for everybody else. And that's something that's just kind of a whole new level of why I believe everybody needs to have this wand, right? Not only to take other care of others, but obviously take care of yourself. And that's what your dad wanted. He wanted it so that he could take care of himself. That's awesome. So I want to thank you, Sheila. It's going to be such an amazing journey with you. And if somebody sent this video to you, please get back with them. They send it to you because they care. They care about you, and they just want you to be well. They want you to be the best version of yourself. And if you have any more questions, you guys, you can reach out to me if you have any more questions. But look forward to what we're doing. Please subscribe to our channel. We're going to be doing a lot of these during the course of the week. So thank you very much, Sheila. Have a very great day, and we will talk to all y'all soon. Oh, by the way, you guys, have fun healing. Have fun doing this, all right? We'll talk to you very soon. Thanks, Sheila.
Thanks, Tony.